Colleen Gimbel, 65 years old. 2.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with lobular carcinoma of the breast. Although they couldn't find it because it doesn't cause a lump, but they found it in my bone marrow, and we tested it because my white and red blood cells were low. And so the doctor says, well, whenever that happens, then we want to look a little further. And they took me kicking and screaming into the blood disorders and cancer guy. And I said, no. Give me another week, I'll get off of this one pill. Maybe that's what's doing it. It didn't work. So finally, then they took this bone marrow test, which wasn't so bad. And then came back about 70 to 80% of my bone marrow had this cancer in it. So I thought I was dead. Said goodbye, left the office. They called me at work. The doctor called me at work to tell me this great news. And I said, I'm in a business meeting. So I said, no, I think it's important here. Then he talked me on the phone. And I went back to the office and, I'm like, And they come right in. Anyway, I said goodbye. People out on the street, goodbye, attorney next door. I guess I'm never gonna see anybody again. But then I went back to the doctor and it was positive for estrogen, which means it cannot grow when there's no estrogen. So the simple solution, I said, cut it all out. I don't know what you cut out. But they couldn't really find it. So they said, that won't help. It's already in the system. So we have to give you a pill that takes the estrogen out of your body. And I was on Prempro. I'm feeding this thing, not even knowing it, with estrogen. So now, my last test was like 10% in my bone marrow. So it's working. We have killed it. But there's still some there. And I shall always have to take this little pill that blocks, it's an estrogen blocker. I started out with the Remedex, and that was fine for like 11 months. No side effects whatsoever. But then it was like somebody hit me in the head with a 2x4. And suddenly, it was like I had the flu, I couldn't move, I was sick of my stomach. It was just the worst feeling. And so the doctor said, well, maybe now it's catching up with you, that it's having a side effect. So they put me on different ones, and now I'm on tamoxifen, which is supposed to have the least joint pain. Mm-hmm. But I still do have a lot of joint pain, and it could also be arthritis. I don't know really exactly where my pain is from, besides my hip. But as far as that and the side effects of the pill, I don't know, but it's what I have to do. So I'm going to have to take this pill, and I hope, and I'm living, and I take Tylenol 3 times a day for the pain, and that seems to keep me, that I can go about my business and live, and still be in pain, but still live. And that's good, and that's what's necessary. One of the other treatments was to put me on a Zometa drip once a month, and that's like biphosphate things that helps your bones keep calcium, so your bones don't lose calcium. So I was on that once a month for the whole 2.5 years before a doctor tells me that they found out now that type of medicine puts down brittle bone and not solid bone. And so I had a hip replaced, and at the end of the hip replacement, I formed a stress fracture. And nobody could understand why, because the type of hip that, it's flexible, the hip implant, so it shouldn't have caused a stress fracture, but it did. And finally, a doctor up in Chicago, I kept wanting to find the answer to why. I kept thinking the hip wasn't right. But no, everybody convinced me the hip was right. So it turns out that this Fosamax that I had been on for like 5 years before they put me on Zometa drip probably laid down brittle bone, and that's why I had the fracture. So that made sense. So I'm off the Zometa. Don't ever go back on it. I just want my bones to heal themselves I'm taking calcium and all the good stuff, but I don't think that type of medicine is doing what what they thought it would do for women. So I don't advise that. No. And then I did get support. We had a support group at Crossman Baptist East. That was very nice. But mainly I was in denial. When they told me I was fine. I wasn't sick anywhere. I didn't believe them, didn't want to believe them. I kept saying I'm healthy, happy, there's no cancer, there's no pain. I'm a very positive type person, and every minute of the day I say that to myself. And truly, it's still hard for me to believe, because they couldn't find it, they couldn't cut it out. There was no proof. There was just this bone cancer, breast cancer in the bone. So it wasn't bone cancer, that's totally different. It wasn't any other kind of cancer, but breast cancer. And so, denial, that was my favorite word. I was in denial. And I may be believing it now, but I still don't want to believe it. Well, you just take it one step at a time. You go through all your grief. You say goodbye to your kids, which is the hardest part, and to your family, because you never know what's going to happen. And that was the hardest part. And my daughter was over in Europe at the time. Now, oh yeah, I should email her this. She never wanted to go to Europe again. So we waited till she came back, and I got a better report from the doctor when I came back. So that was an encouraging thing. And my reports all along have been better. So I have hope that I will live a long and happy life.
Colleen! I hope they didn't get on there.